Hey y'all, this is the second video in the series of what I learned during my first year homeschooling. So welcome to my channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Brittany. I am heading into my second year of homeschooling with my rising first grader and my preschooler. If you have been here before, then welcome back. Today's video is all about lesson learned number 2, which is about craft supplies that I didn't really think of that turned out to be very handy to have, and then also how we stored our supplies. So let's get started with the craft supplies. Now these are things that I didn't really think we were going to use that much, but now that we've gone through our year, I'm going to make sure that we have these in our craft bin moving forward. Number 1 is most definitely food coloring. We used food coloring so much in our first year. We went through 2 of these boxes. Now y'all know when you're using food coloring, you actually don't have to put that many drops in something to actually have it colored. So for us to go through 2 of these boxes is kind of crazy. So we used food coloring in things like our ocean layer cake, our pitch experiment where we learned about sound, and then also as we were experimenting with dry ice. Now, let's just be honest, coloring things is just fun. It adds a little something extra to an activity or a lesson, which you guys know is what I'm all about. So, craft supply number 1, that was a surprise that I would definitely suggest you stock up on if you're like me and you like to add a little something extra, is definitely going to be food coloring. For this next one, I knew this, but I didn't know it, if that makes any sense. But there are 2 different types of paper plates, coated and uncoated. So coated paper plates have like that waxy waterproof substance on them that makes them really shiny. My number 2 pick for craft supplies is uncoated paper plates. Uncoated paper plates. So the coated ones make it really hard to draw on with crayon or colored pencils. So for our projects, you're gonna wanna grab uncoated paper plates. And we use these most recently for our eyeball wall when we were studying animals. You can see this is one of our eyeballs right here. And these just make crafting so much easier. My kids have used them for wings, they've used them for necklaces, and I'm not getting the frustration of their coloring pencils and their crayons not making marks on the paper because it's essentially just like a normal piece of paper because it doesn't have that waxy substance on it. So if you're doing a lot of crafting, then I would definitely suggest getting a stack of these. You can get 200 for $8 at Target, and that 200 lasts us the entire year. We actually still have some left, so we'll be able to use them into next year as well. Number 3 is Googly Eyes. So I used Googly Eyes way more than I thought we were going to use them last year. We used them for putting them on alphabet letters. We used them when we were making people, when we were making monsters. We're going to be doing some origami work this summer, and I'm sure my son is going to want to put some Googly Eyes on his creation. So the pack that I got that I really liked was from Amazon, and you got 1,000 Googly Eyes for $6.99. And you were able to get 4 sizes, and they also had adhesive on the back. Now the adhesive can kind of be hit or miss sometimes with these, so we still used glue to attach ours, but as you can see, we still have a ton left in this bag. We probably won't get through all these Googly Eyes until the end of maybe next summer, if that. But these make every project so much more fun. My kids love using them. And for $6.99 for the amount that you get, you can just stock up on these once and then you'll have them for a while. Having different types of glue available is in the number 4 spot. So I happen to use our hot glue gun a lot when I'm making things, like when I made our theater play set. earlier in the year. The kids, not so much. So I don't really let them use the hot glue gun a lot because I tend to burn myself quite a bit with the hot glue gun, and it's really just not worth it for me to take that chance with them. So sometimes I'll use it with them, but most of the time I'm using the hot glue gun for preparing something that we're going to be using later on when they're around. In terms of other glues that we use, obviously liquid glue and then glue sticks, Elmer's brand, because I have never seen a higher level of frustration with a craft supply than when my 4-year-old is trying to use a glue stick that will just not stick. She gets so upset because glue is supposed to stick. So we can't really do off-brand glue sticks in our home because sometimes they just don't work. And you kind of just get what you pay for sometimes. The other glue that I would recommend is either a fabric glue or like what I have here, a tacky glue. And so since my kids do not use the hot glue gun, this is a great replacement when we're working with fabric or felt, because this will hold it in place similar to what we would be using with the hot glue gun. Now, technically, hot glue gun can be stronger and is stronger, but this is a great replacement for that so that they can use it, they can do it, and mommy's not coming in and kind of breaking their flow in their creation. The last unexpected craft supply in slot number 5 is going to be yarn. So I grabbed 2 of these bundles of yarn from Michael's. As you can see, we still haven't gone through all of this one. We haven't gone through all of the other one either. They do last for quite a while. Now, we use these in expected ways, right? So we use them to make spider webs. We use them to hang our butterfly feeders that we did towards the end of the school year, making kites. However, we also used it for a lot of other things as well. So we used it in math when we were measuring and comparing sizes. My 4-year-old loves to unravel and cut the yarn, so cutting practice. And we also used it for making diagrams for different things. So I actually made a diagram for the kids when we were learning about orchestras of an orchestra pit so that they could see where each of the instrument sections sat. Now that we've taken a look at some of my surprisingly useful crafting supplies, let's talk about storage. So we'll look at 2 different types of storage that we used this year. One is going to be things that we did not use on a regular basis, and then the other one would be things that we use daily.
So this is actually perfect timing for me to show you guys my homeschool storage because I am cleaning it all out right now to figure out what I'm going to sell, what I'm going to donate, and then how I'm going to organize everything when we go up to our new homeschool room. So as you can see, this is our storage closet in the foyer. It's kind of empty and crazy looking right now and really dark, so you probably can't see a whole lot in there, which is why I brought this stuff out. So these are some of my homeschool storage boxes. Each of these is a different subject and it contains manipulatives, workbooks, curriculum, anything that we are not actively using in our homeschool goes back into these, and I just pull them out whenever I need them. Additionally, I had these 2 bins right here. This one is full of stuff for my preschooler, any activities that she has, and then this one was a box of stuff that I would need readily available. So things like our posters, our magnets for our daily schedule, my hot glue gun is in there. Things that mommy needs readily accessible are in this box, and these 2 just go on top of the storage bins that I have. Next, we have our art card. So I started using this because my youngest is an absolute maniac when it comes to art supplies. Like, she legit cannot be trusted, y'all. She has colored on numerous things on the back of our couch, which will not come off. So we have to put the art supplies up. And the cart was great because I could just pull it out whenever we were going to be using it. So we have it broken up into different tiers. The top tier get my shadow out of the way, is all coloring. So we've got dotted dot markers, dry erase, block crayons, different types of crayons down here. We have the twistable ones that my kids really like. And then we also have some oil pastel crayons. We got markers, colored pencils. I found these at Lakeshore Learning, people colors. We actually haven't used these yet because Target had some that we'd been using, but I'm sure we'll break those out soon. So the top bin is all coloring, and the other thing that I like is that it comes in, we put these caddies up at the top so that like if my son needs to bring some colored pencils or crayons to the table for a lesson, he can just grab his little caddy and bring it over. On the next tier down, we have Play-Doh, as well as Play-Doh tools. Again, it's in a caddy. I can pick it up, take it to the table if we need it. And then here on the other side is their stickers. So they have like a little sticker box. I just used an old Tupperware container and put those in there so that they could have that. And then on the bottom tier, which is kind of hard to see, I'll have to rotate it, but this is all paint stuff. So right here we have the actual paints, some watercolors, paint brushes, palettes, some canvases, little things for them to wear, which they don't usually wear because I don't really care about them getting messy in paint. I buy washable paint anyway, but these are like little smocks for them. And then on the other side, if I can turn her around here, I have some disposable tablecloths that I just pick up from Dollar Tree that I end up using if we're doing something particularly messy that I don't really want to get it anywhere else. Kind of like when we smashed our Easter eggs earlier this year. That was a big mess that I just needed to be able to wrap up and go. So that is our art cart. So these are the last couple of things that I'll show you guys. One is a caddy that houses more supplies that we do use on a regular basis. So in this one we have like scissors, hole punches, dry erase items for our dry erase board, glue, our timer, more glue, our pencil sharpener. And again, we bring this to our table whenever we're working on a lesson or a craft and we need it. The other thing that I'll show you guys is my son's writing box. Now this really worked out well for him this year. I got this writing box at Target and I'm hoping they bring it back so I can get my daughter one. But basically you'll see that it has all his pencils, highlighters, dry erase markers, pens. And this was really special for him because when it was time for us to do like a writing lesson or an activity, he would be like, oh, let me go get my writing box. It has his name on it. It's got lots of fun little erasers. I actually found these little Crayola erasers at Dollar Tree. And then just some fun pencils for him to use. And then the very last thing that I'll show you all in terms of supplies that I kept handy were in these 3 magazine holders here that I got from Target. These are all of our paper that we used regularly. Now the only thing that's not over here is printer paper. I keep that over with the actual printer. But here, this is where we store the paper that the kids use regularly. So we've got lined paper, we've got a lined paper tablet or 2, got a couple of those. Our cardstock paper, they actually use this quite a bit. Construction paper, some new construction paper. We have some booklets here where they like to write stories and create their own books. Dry erase lined boards, which these are really great. Let me try to pull it out a little bit. These are really great. My kids like writing on these because it's literally the same thing but just dry erase form, and that adds something special for them. Laminating sheets, and then some more cardstock, as well as a clipboard.
So those are my thoughts on supplies and storage from my first year of homeschooling. Honestly, I'm going to be revamping pretty much all of this for next year because we're going to be moving into a dedicated space, our own homeschool room. So I will make sure to do a video to show you guys what I came up with for that. please check in tomorrow for my next video in the series, which is going to be all about record keeping that I did this past year, why it worked so well for us, and why I will continue to do the same thing that I did this upcoming year. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. Thank you for watching. I hope that you found it helpful. Until next time.